Alright, so I'm going to teach you guys 7.7 day 2 compounding continuously. So I'm going to go through it kind of quickly, but the sub can pause at any time, so you just have to tell him or her to pause it. So on top of your notebook, you should be writing 7.7 day 2 compounding continuously. So the first formula you're going to write down is compounding annually. And make sure that you write down the word annually, because there's going to be two different formulas. Annually means once per year. So we've seen this formula before. The A stands for the starting amount. So you're going to write that down. The 1 is always the same. The R stands for your rate. And remember that that has to be written as a decimal. And T stands for your time. This is rate as a decimal. And T stands for time. Alrighty. The other formula we're going to be using today is compounding continuously. So make sure you write down the word continuously. So that means that it's compounding all the time. So instead of doing once a year that you get your interest in your bank account, this is over and over and over and over and over giving you interest. So this is what we call the Pert formula, because it says Pert. A is your ending amount. P is your principal, which is your starting amount. E is just a number in our calculator that we've been typing in. R stands for rate, and T stands for time. So I'm going to type all this out, and you guys can be writing it down with me. Your ending amount. This was your starting amount. This is your rate, written as decimal. And remember that T is your time. Alright, so that's the two formulas we're going to use today. So the first problem we're going to do is going to have two parts. Example 1, suppose you put $7,520 in an account at 4% interest compounding continuously. When you write this down, you need to underline the word continuously for 10 years. So you'll look at your formulas above you, and if you look at the continuous one, that's the Pert formula. It's compounding for 10 years. Part A, how much money is in the account? Part B, how much money did you earn in interest? So, if you need to pause in order to write all this down, feel free to do so. If not, here's what you're going to do. So, when you're putting in Pert, the first variable is P. So, P is your starting amount. So, you're going to write down 7520. Then you're going to write an E. And you are going to write it down as you're going to put in your calculator. So we're going to, and you notice that RT was in tiny world, it's in the exponent world. So you're going to do a caret, and then this has to go in parentheses when you multiply your rate times your time. So it goes your P, you write the E, the next thing is your R, which is your rate. So if you look over here, your rate is 4%. I need to change it to a decimal. So my decimal is right here, right now. You need to move to the left twice. So it's going to be 0.04 times, do a dot, not an X like I am, do a dot, times the time, and 10 years goes by, so you're going to put 10, and then you're going to close your parentheses. Type this in your calculator, and you're going to get your answer. Okay, so I plugged this into my calculator, which I'm using Google. It's the same thing. I typed it in just as you guys would, and I get $11,218.52. So that's your answer for Part A. So you're going to write that down. So $11,218 and 52 cents. You want two decimal places because you're talking about money. Okay, so that's your answer for Part A. Part B, how much did you make in interest? Well, I'm going to write what I have in my account now, so $11,218.52, and I'm going to subtract the $7,520, and that's going to give me my new answer, because I'm taking my new money that's in there minus my original amount, and that'll give me how much I made. So I'm going to, in my calculator, I'm going to subtract my $7,520. So the difference is $3,698.52. So that's how much I made in interest. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, so those are my two answers. This is the answer for part B. This is the answer for part A. I made this much in my account after 10 years. That's how much I have. This is how much I earned in interest. Okay, so that's problem 1. Here's example 2. It's the same type of problem. So it says, suppose you invest $6,250 at 3.2% interest, compounding continuously for 5 years. So when you're writing this, underline the word continuously. That tells me I'm going to use the Pert formula again. How much money would be in the account? So you're going to start with your starting amount, which is your P, so $6,250. Then you're going to have your little e, because it's just a number in your calculator, caret. You put your rate next. Remember, you move your decimal to the left twice, so 0.032 times 5. And you're going to type all of that in your calculator, and you're going to get your answer. Now, if you don't remember where the E is in your calculator, you are going to have to ask someone around you, but it's on the left-hand side. You hit second, and it's like the 4th or 5th button down, and it says LN, but above it says e to the x in a lighter color. That's the one you want to use. So when I type that into my calculator, I get $7,334.44. Then I'm going to subtract those numbers, take this number I have minus the original, which was $6,250, and that's going to tell me how much I made in interest. So write all that down. So I got caught up with you guys. How much is in my account after those 5 years? $7,334.44. And how much did I make in interest? Well, I made $1,084.44. Okay, so those are two examples of continuously. We've done annually before, but let's do a problem just to review. So this one says, suppose you invest $10,500 at 4% interest, compounding annually for 7 years. What do you think is important? Underline the word annually for 7 years. How much money would be in the account? In part B, how much would you earn in interest? Okay, we can solve this. So you're now going to use your annual formula, which is the one that has the A, the parentheses, the 1 plus the R raised to the T power. So when you type this in your calculator, you're going to type the A, which is your starting amount, so that's 10,500, parentheses, 1 plus the rate, which is 4%, but you're going to move the decimal to the left twice, so 0.04, times the number, just kidding. You're going to put your parentheses, and then you're going to raise it to the time, which is 7. You'll type that in your calculator, and that's going to tell you how much is in the account after 7 years. So I'm going to go to mine, type it in, and how much is in my account is $13,817.28. I'm rounding properly here because the 3 says to leave that as an 8. If it was 5 or higher, I'd round it to 29 cents. And then you subtract this number minus the 10,500, and that would tell you how much you made in interest. So I'm going to catch up with you in a second. Okay, so I got my answers here, $13,817.28 for part A, because that's how much is in the account. Part B, how much did you earn in interest? $3,317.28. Okay, so we've done 2 continuous, we've done 1 annual. I'm going to do another annual, but if you feel like you've got it, you can tell us to turn it off and finish that. This is the end of the video. This is only if you need the 4th one. So for the 4th one, it says, suppose you invest $20,000 at 1.75% interest compounding annually. Again, read that it's annually for 10 years. How much money would be in the account? Well, for annually, you start with your starting amount, which is $20,000, parentheses 1 plus the rate, which is 1.75, move the decimal place to the left twice, so it's going to be 0.0175. Then you raise it to your time, which is 10. You're going to type that in your calculator, and you're going to get $23,788.89, because you're going to round that 9 up properly, because that 9 says to round that up to 89. So So I'm going to write that down. Then you take this amount, subtract it from the $20,000, and you're going to get that you have $3,788.89 that you made in interest. So that's how you do 7.7 day 2. So you're going to work on your homework, and then he or she will show you another video, which will have to do with inheriting money.